Is it our best day ever? You know it. The very best day of all. You got this. You know the 8 ball doesn't have any of those answers. But we do because we don't need the 8 ball to tell us if it's going to be our best day ever, because it is. And I welcome you all here to another episode of, I don't know what we even call this, but here we are in the Eat Like a Bear community. This is a wonderful little weight loss community that we have back here. And we have lots of people like who've gone down this path and are running around trimmer than they used to be. So we get on here and talk about it. And so this is one of those Ask Me Anything videos. So please ask me anything. And we will be talking a bit about protein as well, like adding more protein to your meal. But first, I want to say that we get caught up in the weeds of like how many onion slices to add or whatever, so sometimes get questions. Oh, we don't actually usually get that question, but to that level, And so I want to say the number one thing that I recommend that everybody do today is if you are at all physically able, I want you to get outside today and just take in some fresh air and just like put yourself in a bubble of like positivity, bliss. And that is its own discipline, by the way. Times are hard. Times are hard. And then especially if you're also struggling with something like weight loss, which takes its own energy. It does. But getting that little bit of relief, like, in your soul, in your deep inside, whatever we call that, because I don't even know what do we call it. Getting a little bit of relief and leaning into the very positive things that are out there, because they're there. They are. And life will only be better if we recognize them and just focus on those. And so I do hope all of you can get outside today, even if it requires a rain jacket or snow boots or whatever else. And for those of you who don't, or are not able to, I'm glad you found us today, because we're here. And we will all, like, everyone take a minute and like spread some joy through internet land to everyone watching who may not be able to get out today, which I get it. So I'm 7 months in, almost 8 months into a traumatic brain injury. And for many of the beginning months, I was just like tethered to the couch. My tether is a little longer these days, so I'm able to get out and then see some more progress. But it's slow, because it's always slower than you think it should be. It's always slower than we deserve, just like the weight loss. We deserve 10 times the weight loss. But our weight loss is pretty good here at Eat Like a Bear. But we always want it to be more and better and all that, just like we do with any kind of physical recovery, for sure. Okay, so we're going to talk just a little bit. I'll just say a little bit about protein, because what we're doing in the Deep Den. And so the Deep Den is our member funded area of Eat Like a Bear. Member funding means, yes, you pay for it. There's no brands back there, sponsors or whatever. So I'm out of money, guys. So someone's going to need to pay for it. So it's members. And it's very affordable. But our big discussion right now is about what if you need to add more protein, because we have a very formulaic way of eating, which is kind of the go-to starting place. And it is in these books, which, by the way, I said we have no sponsors. These books are our sponsors. Okay. So Half My Size with a Ridiculously Big Salad, for instance, The Big Skillet, the Jumpstart book. And so in these, the eating is very formulaic and has like a certain amount of protein that's recommended, like protein toppers on top of the salad itself. But what if you need more? What if you want more? And you need or want whatever it is, can you adapt it and still meet your weight loss goals? Well, of course. All of this is about this. These came out of, this is what I ate to lose 140 pounds. And it came out of just my own process of iterating through choices, getting to like the sweet spot for me that would drive my weight loss. Like I was going for fast and I tried to go faster, like let me have fewer calories even. And that just wasn't sustainable. So these are like my own sweet spot in weight loss. but it's not doesn't mean it's gonna be yours, but it's a really good place to start. And so then if you end up like Jackie Patty is needing to build muscle, and so she talks about adding protein. And I am in is in and we've been talking about this for years, but I'm in that phase now of, man, I just atrophied a lot. I mean, in terms of like laying on the couch, those months with my injury, I lost some muscle, man, because I was pretty good with the muscle. I've kept it in the weight loss and then was building on it after as I was getting out and hiking, and then it's gone like that. Yeah. So, protein is a key way to build it back. And so how do you integrate it? My big message for everybody is with any of these things, like, so these are very formulaic meals, and formulaic is a key winning strategy for the long game, because otherwise you're going to just be adding stuff and get sloppy and then possibly stall and possibly give up. Don't ever give up, but stalling because you're getting sloppy. Okay. If you have a formula, you're just far less likely to get sloppy. And then on bad days, you know your formula, you're good. And so I encourage everyone, if you're going to do something like add protein, that you do it from like a systematic formulaic point of view. So in the past, when I would have a protein craving, I would add like a couple of eggs or whatever. And so that was my own little formula. But now as I look towards like, maybe I should add even more, or like be more like daily and not just following a craving. And so how am I going to do that from a formulaic point of view? And so I did post in the Deep Den with some ideas and options. And so I direct people, Deep Den members, to that, because this is going to be a whole ongoing discussion, but we won't gatekeep the key information, because one of the things, not to be obvious, but if you're going to be eating like this, say you have this is your model, but you want to add protein to it, well, you just add some more protein. But if you were going to do that, you wouldn't want to add just a bunch of like high fat protein, okay, sardines, just a bunch of these, because you're going to end up with more calories. You're going to want to add something that's trim and lean, okay, that's more protein, that doesn't have a bunch of fat attached to it. But you may need to cut back in some places, depending. So cutting fat, like in the dressing or the sauce. And you know what, and we have the FAQs. If you had questions about this or like wanted feedback, you could post in there. Okay. We're talking about do you want to add a protein bar, a protein drink? I get concerned about the bars, because I get concerned we're going to just eat 17 of them, because some of those bars taste a lot like cookies and brownies. Okay, so there's that. The drinks, I feel like we're a little less likely to just have 900 drinks. So I feel like those are maybe better than the bars. I don't know. So we're experimenting, and I'm interested in people's experiences about, especially like the bars and drinks. So don't go crazy. Don't like, I'm going to experiment and eat 900 bars and report back to Amanda. Okay, that's not the spirit of this, because we know what happens then. Okay, because you can gain weight on a protein bar. Okay, if you eat 900 of them. Okay. So we have to find the things that are going to satiate us, that are going to help us meet our goals. And so we can, draw the line on eating and just go off and be awesome. Okay. Which is what we're all going to do when we go outside today. So that was that's a little bit about the protein, but I want to open this up to questions about protein, but also of anything at all. And in terms of the protein, this is going to be an ongoing discussion. So I bought some protein powder yesterday, and just kind of experimenting with it. Like, what I like to do now in maintenance is try something on for size for maybe a month before I report back on it. Maybe just a few days. If I'm like, no, this is my path to gaining 10 pounds this month, then I'll stop it. But otherwise, it's like little experiments. And so that's kind of what I'm doing. So I don't have all the answers for y'all today about all this, or all of my opinions. You do know I'll have opinions. So, and we've got Georgia and Anna back here too. But let me just real quick look up to see if we got any questions. Well, Jackie, Warmish, Pennsylvania. That's awesome. It is raining and overcast here today. Yep. So Tina laughs, warmish. So, and let's see, and is being entertained by her cat. And Jackie says, it's easy to lose muscle when we lose weight. The thing is, when I was carrying 100 to 150 pounds more, just walking built muscle. Now I actually have to do strength training. Yeah. So, interestingly, so in my losing the 100, because you're right, you're totally, well, we have at those higher weights, we're going to have probably more muscle because we're lugging the weight around. I didn't, who, I could have had scans or whatever. I had no idea I was losing the weight. You know what I mean? I have no idea that here I'd be talking to you all about it. So I don't have any pre-scans or whatnot. But the only sort of objective comment that I got on my own case was from my chiropractor, who in the end, I said to him, what do you think in terms of my muscle mass? Have I lost a bunch of muscle? Because I didn't feel like I had, because I was really in just so much better shape. And I had been walking through, once I'd lost about 70 pounds, I started walking and then was just doing that and was then out hiking. And he said, actually, I think you're probably improved in terms of muscle mass. And so that's not something, at least with my case and with what I was eating, that I look back and say, oh, I should have had more protein or should have done more weight training or whatever. So I don't think it's inevitable that people are going to lose muscle. I think it depends, maybe, because people do. That you definitely hear about that especially with bariatric surgery. And I wonder I'm now having a mental lapse about the GLP-1s. If I feel like, who knows? You guys tell me. I'm trying to remember the different side effects of it, because there's some big ones, but yeah. Oh, hey, Anne's here. Okay, here we go. Oh, wait, and Shelly listening on her walk. Shelly, yes, we need to be like Shelly and out there walking. That is wonderful, Shelly. Okay, but let's see. Anne says, I have yet to find a protein shake or bar that tastes good and doesn't make me nauseous. Real food protein is the only way for me. So yeah, that is good to acknowledge too, Anne. So I'm curious those are the kinds of things I'm curious about. If I really try this for multiple days, I'm gonna know that. And we all know that real food, whole foods protein is the key thing. Okay, so what's a whole food protein? So there is a chart, and I'd intended to flash it on the screen, but it will take me a number of clicks, and I don't know that I can successfully flash it on the screen. And it's wrong. No, it's not wrong. So in the Den posting, there's a chart where I display protein toppers, essentially, like chicken, fish, or white meat chicken, chicken thighs, salmon as a subclass of fish, beef, those kinds of things, bacon on the list. And it is attempting to show them ranked according to basically calorie density. And then Jackie Patty's like, what's the scale of this? And I just looked it up earlier. And I even looked up the spreadsheet that I did it in, and it's, you guys, so that is a good question. I have to go back and look it up, but I'm not going to do that, because Jackie's saying what we need is the percent of, say for 100 calories, how much of that is protein? And then what we would want to do is find the things that have more protein per calorie if we're really trying to trim up and get into a weight loss regimen. Then, and with Anne saying, just going to be whole foods, then a list like this is key. But I'll tell you, we don't need to wait till I do the calculation in the list, because the key things that are highest in protein per calorie, they don't have a high calorie cost for the protein amount, okay, are definitely things like white fish, scallops, and then Jackie's like, I can't afford a luxury life of scallops. So that's a factor too. But so it's going to be things like cod and pollock, white fish like that. So because something like salmon has a good amount of protein in it, but it comes with the fat, but now it's beneficial fat. So you start doing all this with it. And I'm definitely making room for the beneficial fats as well, but I don't want to mix messages and say we're right now talking about protein. But see, all of this is like this, especially when you're working on losing weight, because you do have to just get things in a boundary, get satiated, and walk away. Once you're in maintenance, you have a little more flexibility to add things like the salmon or whatever it is. So that's the good thing about that. It's good to see you, Anne. So Anne, I have something for you. I'm so embarrassed because I've had something for Anne for a very long time. Okay, so my goodness. So and okay, and Jackie is talking about the bars as well. Most of them are way too sweet. I unfortunately did a bar that tasted good, but they're too high in calorie. Yeah. Yeah. And so, and shakes, I do shakes, having found one that isn't too bad. And so some of the powders don't have a lot of flavor. And so you could then just have it like that, like, oh, in the coffee. Okay. Right. Duh. Okay. Coffee. Someone asked last week and I forgot to answer, but I drink a lot of mushroom coffee these days. So, but this happened to be a little third cup of regular coffee that Sandra had made. So I thought, get me through the live video. And let's see. Let's see. And Sybil is recommending the Fairlife ones. I'm gonna write that down because I'm gonna try to systematically try some of these things. Because I've kind of tried things over the years, but haven't spent a lot of time or whatnot on me. Shannon is saying, I lost my counterweight and had to relearn how to use my body for leverage. Are you talking about like, so you had a lot of weight like on your butt or something like that? Is that what you're saying, Shannon? And it's interesting living with a lot of weight for years and then not. I mean, because it definitely affects you. I hunch more, I think, than I would have. And it's because I had, a lot of weight in front, let's say, right here. Okay. You can't see it because Shannon's thing is covering what I'm touching. But so like this, I was like running around like this for years. And then so my so I would hunch. I didn't know it because it's just how it was. But now that I'm trimmer, it's more noticeable. And so, yeah, that's from years of that. So, and so, and Jackie, so we're all sending thoughts to Jackie, and maybe we should send Jackie a lottery ticket. And so, but I saw scallops at Walmart. I haven't looked it up. Like, there's like different sourcing of all these foods and stuff like that. But it was like wild Patagonian scallops, I think, and for a pretty good price. But it depends on your budget. So it was a big enough quantity that it was probably 2 days worth, and it was $10. So it'd be $5 for just for the scallop part of what you were eating, which is not. I mean, we can all find cheaper, but these days that's boy, the cost of everything. And so Anna Sewell, this is Anna Sewell, is mentioning sardines. And then uses the oil that's in it for the dressing. Because, so I have sardines right here. I don't know why I put them here. I don't know what I was going to say about them. But, this is in organic olive oil. And so you could drain it. And then that oil is going to be part like a base of your dressing, which is great. And I learned from Brenda Kerr that you can put the sardines then in an air fryer and they crisp up. I've tried, and it's like croutons on your thing. So that is a fun little trick. So now this says 1 can drained is 226 calories. And so it is not accounting for the oil that's in there. So it's just the sardines, but then there's the oil that would be extra, which is about 100 calories in a tablespoon, something like that. Okay. And Barbie's here too. Premier protein shakes are great. I add it to my coffee that I have in the fridge. Okay. Oh, okay. Premier. I'm writing Premier down. Shakes into coffee. Gonna try it. Oh, you guys. So Sybil who is highly related to Virginia. I don't know if y'all know, but anyway, so she takes the Fairlife shakes and then like freezes them. Okay. Hmm. And look at Barbie. So Barbie is our shake and our protein bar expert. Okay. Um, let's see. And Jackie Patty says, I tried all the Premier and the only one I liked was chocolate, the Aldi chocolate ones. Oh, Aldi. Aldi. I think these are drinks you're talking about, Jackie. Aldi chocolate protein drinks. There is a Aldi in Visalia now, so there wasn't an Aldi here until recently. So anyway, so Anna Sewell and I could rent Aldi. Okay, and Anna is saying, I love to add gelatin powder or collagen to every sauce or broth. Yeah, so you guys, so that's the thing. So finding one that doesn't have a strong flavor, which my go-to is now owned by Nestle. And I feel like my hippie mother having boycotted Nestle forever, I'm a child of the Nestle boycott. And I feel like once they got bought out, I need to find like another, they were bought out years ago. It shows how much I haven't paid attention to protein powder, really. Anyway, yep. Okay. Jackie is going to Aldi this afternoon. And Shannon, okay, in terms of the problem with the comments. Minutes later, okay, are we balancing ourselves? Can we, once we lose our counterweights, what do we do? Okay, Shannon was all but. Okay. And so let's see, Diane asked a question, and I'm not going to yap all day long because we got to get Anna and Georgia up here, but I don't want to miss questions either. Okay. Okay. Diana, how do you get back on track from allowing myself to add a little too much? Still good food, but more than I should have after my salad. Diane, this is the core issue, right? Especially when, well, I mean, we're always going to have a part of us that can justify eating anything, even if it's garbage or whatever. But I feel like if it's then like, well, it has all these antioxidants, that we have added reason to like negotiate ourselves to eat the thing. And then you're right. Then, I mean, because the thing is, I don't care how, good, how many beneficial properties pistachios have. If I'm eating too much of them, I'm not going to lose weight. And that is the core thing. And we definitely get into that rhythm of eating. And so, Diane, it takes like training, and it takes some effort and diligence. And it's not unlike the stuff I'm fussing through with my nighttime sleep regimen of like, always like, oh, just keep the TV on longer, that kind of thing. I feel like you got to make a big play with something like this. And really, I would say you have your meal or your 2 meals, however it is that you're structured, but then you end up like eating too much on the end of that, whatever that is, or in between it, wherever it is, where you're like, now I'm eating those pistachios or whatever it is. So you're going to need essentially to do something else and to have something structured in that time, and then be really like pure about it. Like really see, this is my brain injury, having vocabulary issues, but strict for sure. Like, don't let the boundary up. And so, for instance, you eat say it's the ridiculously big salad, and you eat it. And I would encourage everyone first, like in the process of eating it, you take your time, make sure you have time. Okay. And reflect on, wow, this is really good today. Or if it's not super good, like you can think about how it's going to be better tomorrow, because not all days are good. And that's not always the fault of the meal, by the way. But a lot of days it's very, very good. And so like, oh, wow, the goodness of this, it's fresh and crispy or whatever it is. And enjoy that, like nice little bit of salt or whatever it is. And as you're ending the meal, I want you to like mentally be focused on the things you're going to be doing and like the greatness of those things. And so if it's just a walk, whatever it is, like, wow, I'm going to go listen to the birds sing, whatever it is, you're mentally shifting, because see, you're shifting from food. You're not thinking about the 900 things in the freezer that you can now heat up to have as dessert, you see, or extra meals or whatever it is. You're strategically shifting to the rest of your day. This takes work, takes discipline to do this, but it's high. I mean, it works. If you can be in like that discipline of it and shifting and knowing like, no, I'm thinking about the pantry. Well, if you're thinking about the pantry, it's going to be hard not to go eat something from the pantry. And so you have to really shift that. Okay. And so I would recommend you have things lined up. Maybe it's work. It's a work shift. Good. And in that work shift, you make a rule. I don't eat in this work shift. Do not eat in, and then don't. If you do eat and then break the rule, I find you really have to double down and double back on it and get very strict. Because otherwise you just keep breaking the rule. And then we know where that leads. So have something planned. Again, the work shift is really like, and if you come into that work like satiated, and then just you're going to have energy to just bust out your work and you're good. If you then like towards the end of that shift, you're like, oh, but now I'm done eating, but now I feel hungry again. Get in front of that, like towards the end of the shift is, because assuming is many hours later, is seltzers and things like that kind of fill you up and that tell yourself, yeah, that's what I have at the end of work is seltzers, not ice cream. You know what I'm saying? So, and there's, a lemon seltzer, like just squeeze fresh lemon into a fizzy water and a sweetener, or just water. Seltzer water will kind of fill your stomach up and expand your stomach even, which is why I think for bariatric patients, for instance, they say no can do on the seltzer because they don't want you stretching your stomach. So if you're post-bariatric, you wouldn't probably want to do the seltzer. But for those of us with giant stomachs, seltzer is maybe on point. Okay. So I want you to try some of those things, Diane. Okay. And really, anyone who's in the deep den, please post in the water cooler. And anyone who's not, please post in our questions area and ask about it. We're here. We'll answer. So, and Shannon says that Publix sometimes, or do they say Publix? Because we don't have one here, but has wild Patagonia scallops. Buy one, get one. Cool. Okay. And let's see. Okay, and a recommendation for Flav City. You know what? Or do they say? I'm just wondering now, because I've always in my head said Flav City, but I've never heard their name said. Spoken out. Yeah. So Jackie is making a distinction. So Jackie eats sardines, but she's talking about the extra protein. So, which is what I'm saying. Like we need to be formulaic in the way we think about this. And Jackie is saying that it needs to be super lean and low calorie because she can't be putting a bunch of calories on top of the main thing that she's eating. And that is the case for most of us. So, okay, but I'm going to get some of let's see. There's a bunch of comments. You know what? So I'm going to bring up Georgia and Anna because we only got 15 more minutes, you guys, but I'm going to scroll through and I'm going to add them up here, let them talk. And I'm going to look at some of the comments too. Okay. So bringing up Georgia and Anna right here. Here we are this morning.
Hello.
And hey, you guys. So just here talking about all this protein and all that, but tell us quick how you doing and then how you handling the protein. How about you, Anna?
I'm doing great. As far as the protein, I was just talking about that I'm done moment because really the I'm done moment for me used to be at the bottom of the box. So that's why I don't do bars because I wouldn't stop until I'm done with the box or at the bottom of the pot. So forget about leftovers. If there's some left in the pot, oh, that's not enough to put away. So I really think that making the decision ahead, like, oh, this is my meal. And then something. I've heard of people doing a dance, brushing your teeth, Jackie Patty goes to bed, whatever it takes. We have to know that we're done. Yeah.
Oh, but by the way, look what the cat dragged in.
Oh man. But as far as protein, what I'm adding now is like, if I feel like I need more protein, if I feel like I need more food, it's only going to be sardines because those are not enticing. Like I said, they're not sexy, not enticing. They're protein and fat. and they have some calcium. They're nutrient rich. So if I'm going to have extra calories, that's what I want them to be from, and they don't make as big of a difference as other stuff would. Like if I ate a bar and I'd want another bar, as anything sweet, you just keep wanting more and more. I do.
No, yeah, same here for sure. And I'm adding sardines more consistently these days for the reasons you're mentioning. I mean, the vitamin D is
Oh, yeah.
an additional reason. So all of these reasons, but I think that's a really good point is how, I mean, I'm not going to eat 6 of these tins. I'm just not.
Mm-mm.
I'm not at
Yeah.
all. But you know what? Before I forget, because I'll forget, let's take a photo of, I have my camera, my phone here. And then we're going to let's just wave. Okay. And smile. Okay. Okay, cool. So thank you. Nice. Nice.
I would like to say one thing as far as the sardines are concerned. Okay, that's it. I'm done.
Oh, Georgia.
Sorry.
It sounds like Brenda's sardines made Georgia cry. Come on.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be sardines, but it's like whatever, something that's not, that's not something you want to just keep eating, but it still fulfills what you want.
Gefilte fish.
Yeah, sardine. Yeah.
Nobody craves gefilte fish.
Well, it's funny because when I was on my long fast years ago, I did start craving sardines. And that's when my dad said to me, it's time to break your fast if you're actually craving sardines. But yeah, but that said, I mean, they're tasty, but I think just to because we're teasing Brenda and we're teasing the whole sardine thing. But the thing of it is, some foods, I feel like sardines are tasty, but I don't need to eat a giant mountain of them. This is exactly the kind of food each of us needs to find, is that we get satisfied with it so that we can draw the line and walk away. That's the whole thing. And whatever it is for you, that's your quest. I say I mean, each of us, our quest is to find things that will help us, like nutritionally, that we enjoy eating, and that we will stop eating. And it's all the things because I'm just going to point out. So Bobby has mentions she uses Keto Chow's protein, some kind of protein product, and then makes an ice cream from it. And I'm going to say, so if that's working for Bobby, then that's really, really good. But I Honest Soul is going to would be like this because of the, and me too, because I'm just going to have 900 units of that thing. Yeah. So
Yep.
yeah. But the thing is, you would eat until the thing is gone. I would, and I don't need that much. And then I may be still thinking about it, and then it becomes a routine or whatever, then that's you're back right up there on the scale.
There's other things. If you don't like sardines, it could be maybe you'll have 3 eggs, or maybe you'll have I don't know, like some people get those preformed patties that are maybe already cooked, like beef patty or something. And I mean, if you're making a whole meal out of it, but if that's your extra protein, it's just a patty, and you say, I'm only going to have a patty and I'm not going to put all this stuff on it, then maybe that would be your thing. But you got to find what your thing is.
Yeah, absolutely. And find it on a good day when you're feeling, kind of creative or whatever else. And then you just, you can go shopping on a day when you're vulnerable. You're not going to go shopping because you're going to be going down the wrong aisles, honestly. But when it's a good day and you're just in that kitchen management phase, and you can look for products like this. And that's what I mean by getting formulaic about it, is figure out that you're going to add it to if you're a 1 meal a day eater, are you adding it to this meal? Or are you so a year ago when I did the 30 days and I lost the 17 pounds and I was having salad kits every day, I would have the salad kit, I would have protein on top, but I had 2 or 3 eggs often, many of those, half of those days, but I would have them a couple of hours before that meal. So it was more like a 2-meal model on the days when I had those.
Though.
Yeah, kind of close together. but that was my formula, and it worked. It worked really well.
Yeah.
So
Mickey hit the jackpot.
Mickey, due to an error by Amazon, I have 4 cases of sardines. They won't let
Yummy.
you return them and refunded my money. Oh my! So
gosh. My
do
grandma
you?
used to make a chowder with sardines or some canned
Oh,
fish. Yeah, a
yeah.
chowder.
Oh yeah. That
I'm
would be.
telling you, the best way is in the air fryer with lemon pepper seasoning on top. And you just fry it up until it's nice and crispy and chow down. It's so good.
Well, and
Or
so
on
on
a-
that could be on a salad. It would have like a protein crouton
Mhm.
experience to it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
if I
Mickey says, "Good thing I like sardines."
Yeah. How many?
she's
So
a
in a
better
case,
woman than I am. That's all I'm gonna say. She's a better woman than I am. If I'm sorry, my extra protein, I'll make deviled eggs, and because we love deviled eggs, and that's easy to throw
Yeah.
some extra protein on there.
Remember when we went to that restaurant in Arkansas
Mhm.
and they didn't have pretty much anything? So they made us a hamburger patty with a Dunkin' egg on top of a bed of, a couple of pieces of lettuce. But, it was like, I found out I like a hamburger patty with egg on top.
With egg
That's
on
really
top. Yeah,
good.
it's good. And really the best part of that meal was the company and the view.
Mhm.
Because that's where we were looking over the Buffalo River and
Yeah.
it made a nice bend.
As long as
Yeah.
I had somebody to hang on to when I looked over.
Right. And Lana found that restaurant before we ever went to Arkansas, and that's why we went to there.
Yep.
Yeah, it was good.
Get this to sit up.
Mickey says 12 in each case
Oh, Lord have mercy.
of the sardines. Yeah.
So
And Bobby
48
says, my dog would be very lucky if I got 4 cases of sardines.
I don't know. That's about what I had when I did the 30-day sardine challenge.
Right. You ate a
And I
lot
ate
of
them all.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah,
my
that's
grandkids did steal a couple of cans. So
that's amazing. Okay. Okay. Well, we're coming up to our 45 on the hour when we turn into pumpkins. So we'll be meeting here Wednesdays, and anyway, guys, ask me anything, and please ask anyone who's still here with a burning question has another couple minutes to put it in here. But yeah, I'm very interested in hearing people's experience with adding protein, the challenges that you face, whether you're because I think the key thing is that it's harder to lose weight as quickly because you're adding something. I mean, not to be obvious, but you're adding a food, which okay, then that's adding calories. So if you need the rapid weight loss, like you're not in maintenance or whatever else, how are you making up for that? Like, what are you shaving off, and what are your strategies for that? And to me, the obvious thing is like make sure the protein on like your salad, if you're doing this, that it's a very lean protein. And yeah, I will redo the chart, Jackie. So that it's a very lean protein, and you just add more quantity of it in that situation. But then also, consider doing what I did a year ago, which was like that, adding the bit of protein in like a little meal beforehand. And so it was a 2 meal model, but in a shortened window as an option, or 2 meals in a bigger window. I mean, people do all kinds of things and have a lot and have really good luck. So people should feel flexible and to just experiment and find what works for you.
And if you have a fattier protein, just don't put your oil or your mayo in your dressing. Just have vinegar that time. I mean, you can kind of balance things out.
And in the 2 meal ebook that's a draft, that's stuck as a draft since my injury, and I highlight Kimberly's case. That's really what she did in that. She trimmed up her salad so much, mainly by that, basically a vinegar dressing, just vinegar, like no oil in the dressing. So that's an obvious place to do it. Yeah.
That's what
Okay.
Tina had, her strategy in that. I mean, if you're walking miles, then you have some options.
Well, right. And so a year ago when I said I added those eggs about half of the days of the 30, I was really active. And so I was walking at least 5 miles a day, often hiking 5 miles, sometimes more like 8 miles. So very, very active for sure. And let's see, just a quick shout out. This is Aunt Joyce. So my literal Aunt Joyce. This is
Hi,
Aunt Joyce.
Papa Rose's sister right there. Okay. And let's see, Tina asks a core question, like, when's our next big adventure? Gosh, that has just been on my mind. And we need a plan, but I feel like my life is here's my core problem. You guys know I'm recovering, and I know despite the fact that I just look super, super great this morning, because right. Okay, so here's my problem with activity and why I'm tethered here to this apartment is I've come to the realization, and it's taken like a level of maturity to get here for myself, is that I think at this point I can, for instance, drive to the Central Coast. I wasn't able to do that for months because of the distance. I think I can. But then the question is, can I do that and walk my 4 miles a day, which is now my minimum required for my own goal? Because I'm rambling, but for my recovery, the key thing I need to do and to build on is cardio. And right now I'm trying to normalize walking 4 miles a day, and which just compared to what I was doing a year ago, it's crazy to think this, but it takes real energy for that 4 miles a day. And so if I drive to Avila, which is lovely, I'm probably not walking 4 miles in that day because my energy is focused on the drive, which is it's about close to 3 hours. And then the question is, the next day, am I recovering from the drive? Am I walking the 4 miles the next day? I'm not sure because I haven't done the drive. But even the day of the drive, I'm probably not also walking 4 miles. And so I have to look at that from like a mature adult point of view of, I just gave up the key thing that's going to drive my recovery. And so, and it's terrible because I do feel sometimes like a caged animal over here. And so even driving up, I remember the day I did a video from the lake, and I had to drive to the lake. And then I drove a bit from there to a trail, and then was so exhausted and didn't end up hiking that much. But the point is, each of those things took energy. And then in the end, on that day, I only hiked 2 miles, which again, like, it's okay. But the point is, and so I look at that with like a meetup and a trip. So, but it's on my mind, Tina, and I miss you guys. And Tina's just not even that far.
I know. But you got to also realize, what if a bear bus came and picked you up and took you somewhere? You walked 2 miles before the bear bus picked you up. And then you get there, you hug everybody and burn calories that way. And then you walk for maybe 2 more miles along the beach. And then you sleep really well that night. There's lots of options. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be the way you're thinking. And just now, by the way, I looked, and it is 2.9 miles from your house to COS. So if it was a day that I wasn't doing my other job and you walked there, then I could drive you home.
Yeah, but
there's a way.
Yes, well, but also better just to drive to COS and then walk in those neighborhoods, because that's super cool too. But you know what?
Cool.
Oh, and we're at 9:45, but it's okay because we got another question, real super quick. Because Cindy, so I sent out in the email yesterday asking people about salad kits, because it's exactly when I ate all those salad kits, did I use their dressing or make my own? And so in those 30 days, because it was one of my rules, I used the whole kit. Well, there were some cases where I used less of the dressing, but Cindy, 100%, if you really want to fine tune what you're doing, you're going to want to make your own. Just, and you know, that allows you to like get really better ingredients, and you're also going to cut costs and all that. But there is definitely a place for someone making it for you. You're on a trip, that kind of thing. And so I think we want to be like, educate ourselves about some of those products that are out there. And so, but with a salad kit, I wouldn't even buy a salad kit if I wasn't going to use their dressing, because then I would just buy lettuce, for instance. So, because you're paying for that, all that stuff in there. So yeah, I would eat the whole thing. But what I asked in the email was, would you want me? I could see an email where it's like, this specific kit, how am I eating it? And then like, okay, I'm going to eat all the dressing, most of it, whatever the case, sometimes I'll eat those family size kits. And there's one where I very typically, it has 2 packets of dressing in it, where I just eat 1 packet and then put the other in the fridge, and Sandra will sometimes have it on a salad. So, because it's extra.
If mine has like a cranberry or something, I don't put that in because it's got a lot of sugar in it. And if it's got the tortilla chips or croutons, I don't put those in. But yeah, it just depends on who you are and what you can get away with. I don't think those things help me, so I wouldn't put them in, but I am also diabetic.
And so I will admit, I've eaten the tortilla chips or whatever. And a big thing for me, because we all apply our own lenses to it, is the point that, like, I'm not going to keep a bag of tortilla chips for pity's sake in my kitchen. Nope. No. But like the bag is this big, and it's like, bless your heart, there's like 7 tortilla, so for stuff like that, for me, I don't worry about it. But yeah, Anna is really fine tuning her blood glucose. And so some of those things become more important for her. I think the big thing is the boundary of everything you're eating in the day. Is that on point for you and what you need? And if those sprinkly things on the top don't drive you to eat more sprinkly things, then probably they're fine. I wouldn't worry too much about it. It's all, at the end of the day, honestly, guys, at the end of the day, if your pants fit, you're good. I mean, we want to be eating healthy things for the long game, but So, okay.
I had to take out all of the dressing packets because every single one of them had soy, and I'm allergic to soy. So I would just carry a little vinegar container with me.
Yeah, that's all it takes.
You dump it out and put the vinegar on top, and then I'm good.
Yeah, and I like some seasoned salt. It's like a seasoned sea salt. You put a little of that on with some vinegar, and it really doesn't even need the oil a lot of the time.
I'm getting ready to head out, guys.
Okay,
bye, everybody. Me and Sharon are off to be awesome.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Sharon.
Oh, is Sharon there?
Yeah, she just
Sharon's
walked
right
by.
behind me. Yeah.
Sharon, say hi to us.
Say hi, Sharon.
Y'all have fun.
Yeah, I'll see y'all later.
Bye-bye.
We're gonna go be awesome.
Okay.
You are.
You guys have a great day.
Once I figure out how to get out of here.
Tina, that sounds like so much fun.
So I'm just looking something up real quick here to Tina's question. Because right now, actually, the season's already beginning to change. But if we've already missed this opportunity, we won't miss it next year. But Pismo Beach, which is on the Central Coast, they have these great hotels right on the beach that have a lot of inventory in, especially January and February. That is, the prices are really extra good. And so that's one thing. And so I'm just looking them up right now. Okay, right. I'm seeing right here, the Spyglass Inn we could get tonight. Okay, so it is an 8.3 I'm on Priceline right now. So this very night, for $110. Wait a minute. I'm looking at it. I'm trying to find the rooms. Okay, maybe this isn't the one I was thinking of. Oh, well, there's one. Anyway, the point is, there are some
affordable on the beach.
Yeah, well, and also like low season, so they're not going to be crowded and all that. And they have like their fire pits out front and they're right on the
that'd
beach.
be
So
fun.
like all you do is hang out and just
Yeah.
walk on the beach, maybe rent a kayak if you want to, because you just walk down to get that, just stuff like that where it's really easy and just like it's not all inclusive or whatever, but it's close. So, to do something like that and just to meet up in a place like that would be cool.
Just sit around and talk bear stories.
Yeah, just hang out.
True.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So Tina, I think we need to identify some places like this that for me, because why not find a deal? Okay, for one thing, but also off season. So anyone who can manage to travel off season, that's the thing. Off season, that on the Central Coast, the weather actually is shockingly good in the winter.
Yeah.
It can be rainy sometimes, but sometimes it's gorgeous. So
Maybe
you're rolling
September before.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't even have to be 2006. Maybe September.
Yeah, Anna's like sooner. Yeah, exactly.
I need to.
Yeah. Okay, and Anne is in. Anne is in now.
Yay!
Now, Anne, you're a snowbird, aren't you? Because I'm trying to think, because you're in Wisconsin and Arizona. So, but I'm thinking there could be like we need to think about where Tucson. You know what I mean? Like the places that have good amenities, but they don't have. Well, their off season is July. No, I don't want Tucson in July.
Bring your ice packs with you if you do.
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, yeah. Off season in Wisconsin, I think would be rough too. But on season, I think Wisconsin. I've only been through Wisconsin once, and it was just amazing, just wonderful. So yeah, okay. You guys. So, okay. So Anne visits. Okay, I was thinking you were a snowbird, Anne. Okay, so Anne is a Wisconsin bird. Okay, who visits Arizona. Okay, very good. Okay, guys, great to see you guys today, and just keep reporting in on protein. Okay, I'll report too, and I do think the issues end up being individualistic in terms of the things we can manage to like find that don't essentially drive us to eat more than we should. Yeah. So, okay. And hey, Dawn from Iowa. All right, you guys. Okay. So, is it chill skills time, Anna?
Yep.
You want to give a super quick pitch?
Well, one of the things that helps our life and our health and our weight loss is to get our cortisol levels down and to handle our emotions. And that's what we're working on here. We do lymphatic massage. We do EFT, emotional freedom technique, tapping, where we tap on the meridians while we're thinking about some of the stuff that we're dealing with. And it just kind of takes down the stress levels. And we also do breathing techniques. And I will tell you, my heart rate variability has been going up, which is a good thing. It means I've chronically had very low heart rate variability, and doing some of these things consistently and continuously has made a difference. So I'm feeling better.
It's great for making headaches go away too.
Yeah, we've had a lot of headaches and things just go away right after we've done them. Yeah. Or
that's
like
amazing.
We'll have a pain or something here or there. And after we've done these things, wow, our body enjoyed it and we feel better.
And so any Deep Den members can go into like the den area. There's the water cooler space.
Yep.
And pinned at the top of that is a post where you're going to find the project hubs, the club hubs, and you're going to see a Zoom link in there. And you just click on that and join us right through there. Yeah. So that is at the top of the hour, which is in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Okay. So bio break time and
Patty.
I saw that. I thought, do I put it up there?
No.
Okay. And we leave you on one final strategic thought. No. Oh, well, let me take that down. Okay.
I've heard of people losing several hundred pounds that way too.
Yes.
You get stiff, but that works just as good too.
Okay, you guys, love you guys. You guys, everyone, take care and go out and just breathe wonderful air, see some birds singing, and think good thoughts to all of us and to the rest of the world. Okay, you guys, take care. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Buddy.